After a 26-hour sail from Santa Marta, we dropped anchor outside the city of Cartagena. Michelle and Geraldine had to grab a bus back to Barranquilla, but we were able to explore the historic Old Town area before they headed back. The architecture here was beautiful, and it reminded us a lot of St. Augustine, Florida. From the lookout at Old Town, we could see the impressive city skyline where One Life was anchored. It was quite fun to have the girls on board, but they had to get back to Barranquilla. So Gary and I stopped for a drink and then went back to One Life. Since we left Florida, this is by far the biggest city One Life has been anchored next to, and quite honestly, it felt a bit overwhelming. Hey everyone, one of the things we noticed while sailing around out here is all of the single-use plastic waste that's found places it shouldn't be.
So we've teamed up with Epic Water Filters, who makes reusable filters that can be used anywhere.
By using one filter, we eliminate hundreds of single-use plastic water bottles.
You can check them out at epicwaterfilters.com and be sure to use discount code EPIC1LIFE to get 20% off.
We hope you enjoy this episode.
So today we get to do something that we haven't done in a long time. We met some of our viewers, Jeff and Shelly, at a bar last night when we were watching the Colombian soccer game, and they invited us out on a powerboat today. So we're gonna get to run around the harbor and I think head over to the Rosario Islands and check it out for the day, which should be super cool. What do you think, Brooke?
I think it's such a small world. We would have never expected to run into people who recognize us on YouTube, especially while they are on vacation in Colombia. We loaded up our snorkel gear and headed to the dinghy dock. We were excited to get to know them better and do a little exploring on someone else's boat. But there was one stop we had to make before we could start having any fun. We are here at the customs agent to check in our boat in Cartagena. And basically every time we anchor or move in Colombia, we have to hire an agent to do all our customs and duties and pay our fees. So we'll see how this goes.
So we just got done talking to the agent and we found out the deal. So San Andres Island is open, but Providencia is currently closed because of the hurricane last year. So our options are from here to go to Rosario Islands here next to Cartagena, and then we can go to San Andres, and from San Andres we can go to Panama. Or if we want to go straight to Panama from here, we have to leave from Cartagena because our passports have to be dealt with here in Cartagena. So we're going to go on the boat today to Rosario Islands and check it out and see if we want to sail there or not, and then decide where we're going.
It's kind of fun figuring out what all we need to do. Makes our brains work a little bit, which is good. And we should be meeting Jeff and Shelly and their friends soon. After a short walk, we made it to the marina where we met the captain and his crew, along with Jeff and Shelly and their friends Kim and Bob. Good morning! It felt so good to be on a boat that went faster than 7 knots for a change. It also felt good to get away from the city. We had only been there for a day or two, but we were ready for a change of scenery. After a short hour trip, we arrived at Rosario, where we were immediately greeted by boat vendors selling everything from beer to lobster. So we escaped to our safe place. We haven't been in the water since our trip to Tayrona Park, and we were happy to get our gills wet again. We tend to get a bit cranky when we can't swim, and we were thankful for this little spot where we were able to unwind for a bit away from the hot, busy streets of Cartagena. Our captain happened to know that one of Pablo Escobar's planes was wrecked nearby, and after a bit of searching, we found it. This wreck lies in about 20 feet of water and is now home to lots of marine life. After some swimming and a couple beers, we ran by a little beach where all the local powerboats come to party. It was a pretty busy spot, so we moved on to the next hangout. The feet.
Love it.
When we got back to the boat, our captain had the local aguardiente ready for us. How's that taste?
Delicious.
We took turns playing Finish the Bottle, and then headed back to the city before sunset. Yeah, we were feeling pretty good on the boat ride back to One Life. A big thanks to Shelly, Jeff, Kim, and Bob for letting us tag along. We had the best day. We have been here in Cartagena for almost a week now, and it's a really busy anchorage, and it's a huge city. And we love Colombia, but it is time for us to move on. So we are getting the boat ready for Panama. And whenever we go on passage, especially a multi-day passage, it means we have a very busy few days. Right now we've got our generator running, charging our batteries, and I'm making food and putting away our provisions from yesterday. Gary went to grab fuel, and we are waiting to hear from our customs and immigration agent so that we can check out and get our Zarpe, which is our clearance paperwork from here in Colombia, that says that we are safe and free to move on. We really love Colombia, but being anchored outside a city with tons of boat traffic had us ready to move on. Being at anchor here was tough, as the powerboats fly through the anchorage at all hours of day, something we just aren't used to. I finished our paperwork for entry into Panama, and then we headed to our agent's office to get the rest of the required documents. We're going back to our agent's office to see if we can get our Zarpe to get out of here. We don't know what to expect. The thing about leaving one country for another is there is no set process, and it varies from place to place. Okay, we met with our agent. She took our passports. She's gonna try to go to immigration for us. Hopefully that works out. And she said she would drop our passports off to us at the boat later. So we'll see what happens with that. But we still don't have our Zarpe to leave, so. She said we will have it tonight. Okay, it is 7 p.m. and we just got the call from our agent that our Zarpe and our passports are ready. So we're here in town, and we're gonna walk to the office and hope all of our paperwork is correct.
So much trash everywhere. Like the entire bay is just filled with trash.
We made it to the agent's office building, but the front door was locked.
What's on Panama?
The security guard at the front door told us to go around to the back, where we were greeted by another guard.
Got our stamped passports, and there's our pay. So we are all set to leave now in the morning. A little bit of trouble getting in here at night, trying to explain to the security guard what we were here for, but we got it figured out. Our Spanish is almost usable.
Now we eat dinner and then hoist the dinghy and get some sleep before the morning.
So this morning we are leaving Colombia. It's been a pretty amazing couple months here, and we got to do a lot of things. We got to go on a lot of adventures to Medellin, to Tayrona Park, to Palomino, Barranquilla, and Minca. We got to see a lot of the country, and it's beautiful cities, it's crazy mountains, it's waterfalls, it's a huge place and it's really cool. The culture is amazing. I'm gonna miss the street food. But today, it's time we head to Panama. So Brooke's just finishing up getting ready, and then we're gonna motor out of the bay here in Cartagena and see if we find some wind. We've heard that there's not going to be a lot of wind on this sail, so we think we'll be motoring a good bit, but maybe we'll get some wind and can put the sails up for a bit. We'll see how it goes.
We've got our pineapple, our water, and our fruits and veggies. Oh, and our trash can, all strapped in, ready to go. Let's go to Panama. As Gary pulled the anchor, the wakes from the other boats rocked us, a bit more of a confirmation that we were ready to get to a place a bit more remote. While in the busy cities of Colombia, we definitely fell right back into the bustle of city life and consumerism. We frequented bars and restaurants, went shopping, and took full advantage of having everything at our fingertips. But with the city slowly fading away behind us, it felt like we could slow down, relax, and breathe again. As we went to hoist our main, we realized our water speed sensor was not working, so Gary jumped in to clean it off. The water here has a lot of growth in it, so our bottom is pretty dirty. We need to get to Panama so we can give it a good scrub. It's working again. Nice work, Gary. There was just some algae covering the sensor, but once Gary wiped it off, we were all set to raise our sails. And we're off. We have about 240 miles to go. We just got our sail configuration all set. We started out with a double reef in our main, a full staysail, and our whole head sail out. And we quickly learned that we were pretty overpowered, so we decided to bring in our head sail. We'd rather be comfortable for the next 2 days than keeled over and just uncomfortable. Anyway, the winds are a little bit more than what was predicted, but that's okay. We're able to sail, and hopefully it'll stay like this. Maybe you get a little calmer, that would be okay too. But anyway, lunchtime. I guess Gary thinks he gets a shower. I see a spot crash. Put it away. The wind is slowly dying down. We have about 15 knots now, so we decided to put our head sail back out So we have our head sail, staysail, and still a double reef in our main. And we're doing about 5 knots. And it's pretty comfortable right now. How's it going?
Fine. Starting to lose the wind. I think we'll probably have to start motoring in another hour or so.
Okay, the sun is setting. And yeah, slow going. What do you think, Gary?
I mean, it's going to take us like 5 or 6 days at this pace to get there.
Yeah, we're only doing about 3 knots, but the seas are calm and flat, so I like that.
We're not doing 3 knots in the right direction.
Yeah, we're having to tack a lot.
And there's a knot and a half of current against us.
Sounds like complaints, Gary.
No, I'm just warning you, this could take like a week.
So we're going this way and then this way, tacking. And what we want to do is stay on the purple line. That's why Gary said it could take us 10 days to get there. We're pretty much just tacking back and forth, and it's kind of annoying, but we either do this or we motor. So we'll do this for a while and see how we do. Sailing. There goes the wind. Doo -doo -doo -doo. There goes the wind. Sail plan?
Motor.
Boo. The wind died to about 4 knots and we couldn't keep our head sail filled, so we furled it in and motor sailed with only our main for a while. After a couple hours, the wind started to pick back up, so out went our head sail. We knew stable wind would be an issue for this sail, so we tried to sail every chance we got, even though it meant alternating between sails up, down, and motoring. We don't have much winds, but we have like 8 knots. So we're moving along at about 3 knots. Slow going, but that's okay, it's comfortable. Most of the time on long passages, we can set our sails and relax, but not on this trip. What are you doing?
Tacking.
Not enough wind to tack. We tried every sail configuration we could think of, mostly tacking back and forth on the same line, not making any progress to our destination. We continued on back and forth like this. Gary was feeling quite frustrated with the lack of wind, but I was enjoying the calm seas. As darkness fell, we hoped the storms in the distance would send some wind our way. Good morning! The sun just came up and it is glassy flat out right now. We motored the majority of the night. Unfortunately, we only have about 2-3 knots of wind. And yeah, I'm just enjoying this calm sea state. Looks like there's some lightning in the distance in front of us, so hopefully that doesn't cause us too much problems. But anyway, it's a beautiful sunrise this morning. This is one of the best sunrises I've seen in a really long time. I can't believe how flat it is out here. It's like a lake this morning. It is so nice out and so flat that we can actually go for a swim out here today. Gary just woke up, but but I've been on watch and thinking about jumping in this water all morning. It's so blue. Gary was not impressed by the lack of wind, but I was certainly taking advantage of the sea state. I could not see anything but the dark blue sea below me. But calm seas means big breakfast, and Gary certainly wasn't upset about that. We're still here, just motor sailing along. Pretty boring. Guess I'll appreciate it for what it is. So sure, there was no wind, but this sea state had me feeling like I was floating on a raft in a lake. And so our day went on just like this. Autopilot steering, motor on, and one life gliding through the clear blue sea. Our second night was soon upon us. Still non-eventful, still no wind, but we still had flat seas. So despite not being able to sail, this trip has been relaxing and calm, which we appreciate because the ocean is not this peaceful too often. Yeah, so what you're seeing is literally 0 knots of wind. Dolphins and rainbows. This is Panama. Well, we motor sailed pretty much the entire night. We had 0 winds. We had a couple squalls, but nothing crazy. Yeah, so pretty boring passage, still no fish. I did get a dolphin show this morning and a rainbow, so that was fun. I think the most interesting thing about this sail has been watching our fuel gauge go down. Still have our lines out, still hoping for something. All right. I'm gonna wake up Gary.
It is the final morning of motoring. Last night we got a little bit of wind and we were able to put the sails out for like maybe 2 hours, and we were only going like 2 to 3 knots though. And then early this morning the wind completely died again, so I think we've motored probably 95% of this passage, which has been pretty obnoxious. But we're almost there. We should be there in about 3.5 more hours. We can see Panama.
One good thing about motoring is we have been able to run our water maker the entire time, so we've got lots of extra water, so I was able to do all of our laundry woohoo, in a bucket. 2 days of fishing, no fish. Better luck next time. No fish, no wind, and barely any sailing, but here we are in Panama. So we took down our Colombia flag, hoisted our quarantine flag, and furled in our mainsail. Thanks for coming along with us on this trip. Cheers until next time.